Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. I'm doing great. As always, we're back with another video and back with another topic of discussion for all of my athletes or whoever's interested in understanding how the mind of an athlete works. Today, we'll be talking about being more coachable. It's very important because we learn every day, whether it's from good or bad experiences. In order to receive what you're learning, you need to be open to it. And that starts with being a more coachable person. Why do I say coachable? It's because you learn every single day. You're being coached by life, you're being taught by life. And there's always something new that the next day can bring to you. And I want you guys to open your eyes and see that and get the most out of every single day. Now, obviously, what are the main issues encountered, especially for athletes? The first issue is believing that you know it all about your sport. I'm not saying that we're not good athletes. I'm not saying that we've not been doing this long enough to understand certain things. But, like I said, there's always something new that's brought at every training session or in every game. Maybe it's not something that you don't know, but it could be something that you're not seeing in a specific context. A training session might go slightly differently. The opposition might have different tactics. There's different things that come into play, different factors that can change the opposition's tactics, that can change your tactics. And all those things are not only subject to change, but that change starts with you being open to learning and trying something new. And those new things, most of the time, come from what other people tell you. And there's obviously your coaches, your teammates, and even people that can be watching. And a big problem is that a lot of us are not as open to that as we should be. Again, the second issue is a direct continuation of what I previously mentioned, but it's not being humble enough to take constructive criticism. Now, it's easy to take criticism from people that are working in your field. Could be your coach, could be your teammates, someone from the coaching staff, the medical staff. Maybe they're closer to what you're doing. You feel like they understand what you're doing better. But you can always get constructive criticism from someone that has never even done what you do. It could be from someone watching on TV. It could be from your dad. It could be from your mom. It could be from a child. It could come from anybody. And this applies to everything we do. Sometimes the person you ask advice from isn't in your shoes, but you just know that that person is level-headed, or you just know that that person can give you an external point of view that can be valuable to what you're going through. And the problem with a lot of us is that we fail to realize just how much we can learn. Now, it's not just a problem, but more so a limitation. Limitation in the sense that we do get the standard criticism, the standard advice from the people around us, the people that work closely with us in our endeavor, but we miss out on everything that we can learn from the people outside. And that's definitely something that we should tap into. If there's more to learn, there's more not to do, but there's more tools that you can acquire to make better decisions moving forward. Now, how do we deal with this? The first thing I see is adaptability. We need to work on being more adaptable to specific contexts or specific situations, like I mentioned as part of the first issue. The problem is that we don't always like adapting we don't really want to change set ways we are already in. Maybe that could be based on how you play individually. It could be in terms of how you connect with your teammates on the field. You already have a set and a fixed way of playing, but now you're being asked or advised to do things differently, and you're not open to adapting. You're not open to trying something or believing that something else could work better than what you already know. And that obviously requires a bit of humility, I'd say. Because when we hold on to something that we know, believing that that's the only way that goes, that's the only way that works, in some way that shows that we lack humility. And that's definitely something you need to understand and be willing to work on. The second thing is to learn to value what other people have to say. Again, you don't take constructive criticism from everybody, and for most, it's not even constructive. Some people are just trying to break you down, some people are just running their mouths. So it's completely understandable not to fully listen to what some people have to say. But what I will say is not to neglect advice and counsel from people that might not be in your workspace, that might not, be the same age as you. Maybe they're younger, maybe they have no experience in what you do. But in this life, there are certain patterns that are universal. Maybe you're an athlete and the person that you're getting advice from works in an office. There are certain ways of doing things, certain ways of behaving, certain mindsets that are universal and that can apply to what you're doing. So just because the person that's giving you advice or the person that's constructively criticizing you doesn't do what you do, that doesn't mean that what they're saying is not valuable. So I just want you to be more open. It's not so much to say that you're doing something wrong. Maybe you're getting enough advice from the people around you, from the people that work with you. But the point of this video is to make you realize that there's a bit more that you can learn. The issue is that when you don't see that there's more that you can learn, it's easier to get stuck in your ways. It's easier to not get used to adapting to other things. And it also makes it harder to receive criticism from people that you don't know or from people that you wouldn't expect it from. So that's all this video really is. It's slightly different to the previous ones. Most of the times it's clear issues, maybe things that are missing out that hinder what you're doing. In this case, it might not necessarily hinder you, but there's still more on the table for you to get out. And if there's something on the table, you shouldn't leave it there. Hope you guys learned something from this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you guys next time.